Oop Oop had his list of prime suspects. At the top were a few of the Ilubus who had traveled off-planet, who had seen the world or seen a few other worlds. These Oop Oop figured could well be part of the Illusionati. Another invitation arrived. It was a speak bubble. I squeezed out the message.
I am Lady Boom Bassoon. I believe you met my husband, Lord Boom Bassoon. We would be most honored if you could join us for high tea at our estate.
Lady Bassoon's husband was one of the media moguls on Ilubu-Wa. I inflated a speak bubble and returned the message, accepting the invitation. The mansion was disappointing. It seemed surprisingly modest for one of the elite families, but I discovered that was the way of the Ilubu. Since wealth was an illusion, to show off your wealth was to show off your ignorance. Well, it may have been modest on the outside, but inside, that's another story. That's where you really get to show off for yourself, of course. You can wallow in any kind of illusion, if you're rich enough. I felt like I'd stepped through the door and into the desert. Except, hanging from the desert ceiling was a chandelier. It was a mirrored ball. It tinkled in the artificial breeze as it turned, slowly reflecting the desert stars. A marblish staircase wound down from the heavens and into the desert. Descending was Lady Bassoon. She was dressed in a relaxing caftan. She wore a necklace of something rare and beautiful, simple and elegant. In the light of the mirrored chandelier, I got a glimpse of her bubblish nacre, a barely visible rainbow aura that surrounded her. An aura that reflected the mirrored chandelier, which in turn reflected the stars set in the desert diorama. Boy, speak of illusion. These people had made an art of it. Boom Bassoon arrived. He stomped in, ruddy-faced, wearing an Ilubu's version of desert khakis. He was tall for a pear person. He was surprisingly open and shrewd. He welcomed me into the outer edges of his nacre, but the fringe is as far as I ever got.
Do you have deserts on your planet, Ruby?
Oh, sure. There's the great Boozy Boos.
The Boozy Boos?
Do you like the desert, Ruby?
Yeah, I do.
What do you like about the desert, Ruby?
I like it best when the desert remains a desert.
Are there changes occurring in these Boozy Boos?
They're nipping away at it, sure.
When you live on a planet that is all desert, change can be very subtle.
Yeah, but things are changing here, right?
It's inevitable.
I get the feeling some of you want it to stay like it is, or was.
Do you mean stay isolated from the rest of the galaxy?
Well, off limits for humans, anyway. That put a ripple in his bubble. He chose his words carefully, but his field was playing a different tune.
But we invited the digital circus to Ilubu-Ra, and you are human, or most of you are.
Yeah, but why the invitation? To check us out? That sent a nice ripple through him.
It's a first step toward future exchanges.
You've never visited my planet.
Sumanula. No.
No ripple, but his bubble is contracting. He's drawing in his field. He's cautious, or he's suspicious. I backed off. Your people respect your planet. I like the way you've built this city to blend in with the surroundings. I haven't seen a strip mall since I got here.
I heard that humans tend to...
Level things. Yeah, we do. Wherever we go. We see it, we level it.
But why?
I don't know. Economics, efficiency, whatever.
Is it efficient?
Ultimately, no. It just makes us a little more crazy.
Then why do you do it?
Human beings are nuts.
Not really.
Most of us, sure, yeah.
Are you serious, Ruby?
I'm one of them, I should know.
If we open our planet to your people...
My suggestion is, don't.
That's not possible.
It's only a matter of time.
Well, I'll tell you. We're not going to change. I used to think maybe consciousness was a matter of evolution, but it's not. It's too much work for most humans. They'd rather be asleep in their illusions.
But your spiritual beliefs, your religions, don't they
Look,
help
the
to...
two major religions on old Earth, Christianity and Buddhism, you could sum up in 2 words.
Just 2 words, Ruby?
Yeah, the essence of Buddhism is know yourself.
And Christianity?
Same thing. Christ taught know yourself. Can you get more simple or direct than that?
Didn't it help?
It was a nice try.
But for you, Ruby?
Oh, I'm not religious.
Do you hold no hope for human beings?
We get distracted easily.
Distracted by...
Everything we think.
What do you think about?
The past, the future, that sort of thing.
But Ruby, everyone knows there's only the present. Neither the past nor the future exists.
They exist in our minds.
But they are illusions.
But that's where most humans live.
But then you live in your mind, and your mind lives in a place that doesn't exist?
Yeah, you could put it that way.
Oh, dear. And we will be opening our doors to these beings?
I'd keep the door shut if I were you.
Do you think so little of your own people?
I like human beings, but that doesn't mean I trust them.
Oh, I find this most distressing. I'm sorry. If you'll excuse me.
Is there anything...
No, please. No, please, I'm all right. Good night, Ruby.
I apologize for my wife. She is...
Sensitive. Yeah, we all are. So we sat in silence. We're not as violent as we used to be.
Do you still kill for a belief?
Me, personally?
No, I meant human beings.
Yeah, well, beliefs are a stinker.
Stinker?
Beliefs, opinions, when people hold on to them long enough, they start to rot in their brains, and the stronger the belief, the more it stinks.
Do you believe anything, Ruby?
Look, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe it's a little tug and pull between the Ilubu traditionalists and the Ilubu, whatever you call yourselves, liberals, Illusionati.
Yeah, we are not the Illusionati.
Okay. I'm just a circus performer. And politics is a circus I don't perform in. All I'm saying is, if you're dealing with human beings, get someone to watch your back.
Being a clown isn't so funny.
You were very funny.
Maybe for you, not for Kapoor.
Would you rather be a part of the trapeze monks?
No, not that.
But you were the funniest part of the show.
It's not funny when a big hairy mammoth sits on your head.
She's just an inflatable.
Inflatable? She's fat and she squats me flat.
Listen, I have an idea.
An idea I can use?
Yeah, find something with a point on the end. And the next time she sits on your head, give her a good...
A good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have I told you about the media on Ilubu? It's kind of cute. I mean, who'd ever think of the media as cute? If you mention the media to the average human being, they'll think of newspapers, radio, television, the Hollies, net, cellular, wireless, whatever crap packed with commercials. And that's one of the weird things about Ilubu. You don't see signs for Nike or Coke or Pepsi or Bud, all that endless junk, their logos plastered all over the walls, all over your mind. Ilubu may be the last outpost in this galaxy that hasn't been converted into a bunch of sugar-based belching consumers. There are people who believe the advertising industry would collapse if people became enlightened and no longer were looking for their identities in things. Maybe. They don't have television on Ilubu. What they have is called the poddies. It's like a theater in a box, only it's shaped like a fat pod. You've seen those tiny stages with a proscenium arch. You pick it up in your hand, set it on the table, carry it around under your arm. This is kind of like that, except it's not a box. It's an oval shape, transparent, like an oval pod. And inside are small, pear-shaped figures acting out some sort of domestic scene. It's all holographic stuff. It's very boring. The backgrounds change. The little figures come and go. It's like a dollhouse. You can look down into different rooms. Different things are going on simultaneously. Sometimes you can interact by taking your finger and poking at one of the figures, like, come on, stand up, do something. The Ilubus also have a newspaper. It's a scroll on a spring, like a window shade. Their magazines remind me of an accordion. They even make music when you squeeze the pages. And then there's globes, round, glass-like balls. Remember the kind you turn upside down and the snow would swirl around inside? Well, I can't see anything in their glass balls, just some murky, misty swirls, but these balls are sacred to the Ilubu. Sometimes they'll just rest their hands on them, or maybe they're meditating. I asked Oop, but he just shrugged me off.
It's part of our illusion, Ruby.
So, it was religious. I wondered if maybe it was like a Bible or something, but then I realized it was more like their Nakri, that bubble that surrounds them, that contains their own personal patterns. Maybe it was a way of communicating with the Big Boo. Whenever I'm on a different planet, I check out the media, see what bullshit they're feeding people, but this planet is different. Their dramas don't have any drama. The most popular show on Alubu is Theater Nakri. Nothing ever happens. It's like watching a Zen play. Well, at least in Zen, someone gets whacked with a stick now and then. The Alubu call this entertainment. Blowing off the top of someone's pointed head, or maybe flattening it with a frying pan, now that's entertainment. Well, I'm watching this chubby little pair. She's combing her hair, which flows down to the floor. It's usually stacked on their pointed heads, so to see it unbraided, that was exciting. And as I'm watching, expecting absolutely nothing to happen, something does. It's a blink in the background. I thought it was an electronic flicker, but then I sensed it wasn't. It was like a message or a code. I sat and watched as she combed her hair for hours. But it didn't happen again.
Whoa! And Kapoor, the clown is again being squat flat. How is he going to get out of this one? Wait, what's this? A spear! He has a telescoping spear hidden up his sleeve. And now he pokes the mammoth Rompa Stomp in its hairy rump. And whoa! It expels a blast of hot air. Right in Kapoor's face. Let's hear it for the basket case, Kapoor. Wait! The mammoth Rompa Stomp is collapsing. It's deflating. Oh my! There it goes! Flat as a hairy pancake. Now, the triumphant Kapoor is jumping up and down on it. Well, it looks like that's the end of... Wait! Kapoor and the flat, hairy Rompa Stomp are rising up. They're rising up into the air. Kapoor is standing on top, waving his little spear. The beast is completely flat beneath Kapoor's feet. In fact, it looks like he's riding a monstrous hairpiece. And now, whoa, there they go, sailing through the air with the greatest of ease. Can it be? Yes, it is. It's the rat on the flying toupee.
Yes, little did I know that Kapoor would take my idea and turn it into a shaggy pun.
That was a lot of work for a shaggy pun.
The rat on the flying toupee. Yeah.
I was in my dressing room getting ready for a matinee performance of Ruby and the Dark Angel of Doom, a game where a big pointed head floats around spitting fireballs at me. The theater Nakri was playing on the potty, and I just happened to look over and flick, there it was again. Taru had told me the Alubu can't see it because they blink a lot, something about living on a desert planet with sand blowing in your face. It was a flick, a blink, and quick as it was, I caught it, I held it, I slowed time almost to a stop. Slower. I saw it, but then I had to let it go.
Are you certain, Ruby?
Yeah, I got a pretty good look at it.
What did you think you saw, Ruby?
It was some woolly, spiky pattern. I finally got it almost to a standstill. There were billions of microscopic balls with spikes all over them.
Really?
Yeah, what is it?
Unless I see it, how can I say?
Can you get me a recording of the theater Nakri?
Their performances are alive.
Yeah, but they got recordings, right?
No, they are alive.
You don't make copies?
Our technology is not that sophisticated, Ruby.
Oh, come on. In this day and age, there isn't anything that can't be copied.
Not on Ilubu, huh?
I am Rodent Kapoor, also known as Kapoor the Clown. I like being a clown. I like to make people laugh. I like the other clowns, except one, Cream Puff, who does not think I'm funny. His name is Cream Puff, the clown, but he's not a puff. He's big and burly and, well, he's not big. He's short, squat, and hairy. And you don't want to cross Cream Puff, or he'll give you the evil clown eye. And you never want a clown to give you that. Ooh.
Hello, rodent.
Cream Puff isn't a happy clown, but I make him happy. Every time he makes fun of me or insults me, it makes him happy.
What's your clown credentials, rodent?
Do I need credentials to make people laugh?
Where were you clowning around before you joined this circus?
I was once a trapeze monk.
You were never a trapeze monk.
I was. Ask Andor.
Yeah, you just stay out of my spotlight, rodent.
Yeah. Rodent. Life is difficult enough without some clown making it worse.
Andor,
Yes, Ruby?
have you been looking at their potties?
Yes, it's a fascinating technology, Ruby. They're not transmitting with microwaves, but with wave frequencies that Nikola Tesla would have been most...
Listen, can you make a copy of the theater at Nacre?
Well, it's a 3D hologram in some ways similar to our own Hollies, but the way it's transmitted is something that Nikola Tesla would have
Andor,
found...
can you make a copy?
Theater Nacre?
Yeah,
I guess.
good. The techies at the digital circus figured it out in about an hour. Later that day, Andor walked in with a recording and a potty player. I did a rapid scan, and sure enough, there it was, the flick. Oop Boop came by, and I played it for him. There. Did you see it?
No.
I didn't figure he could. They can't. It moves too fast. It's a blink, and they're always blinking their eyes anyway. I'll slow it down.
Fascinating. Where did you buy this potty player?
The techies at the circus built it.
Which techies, Ruby?
I don't know. What is this thing, Oop Boop?
It is called a glitch.
You have no idea what it is?
Kapoor began to suspect that someone was trying to shorten his clown career as his routines became more hilarious and strangely more hazardous. First came the exploding custard pie. It was the usual clown free-for-all, pies flying everywhere, the little rodent, being an agile fellow, ducked and dodged everything thrown at him, much to the crowd's delight. All the clowns were covered in custard, all but Kapoor. It was then that they all suddenly stopped, looked at Kapoor standing there in his freshly pressed clown suit, and all together, 40 clowns picked up pies, leaned back, and let him have it. Needless to say, he was a walking mound of custard. Except this one time, when all the clowns stopped, looked at Kapoor, picked up a pie, and as they were winding up for the pitch, something shiny fell out of the sky, actually the top of the tent, and landed at Kapoor's feet. It was a coin, and just as the clowns let loose, he bent over to pick up the shiny coin. The pie sailed over his head and hit an inflatable kickaboo. The animal exploded. One of the pies was an exploding custard, meant to take off Kapoor's head.
The crowd thought it was part of the show, so the gods had smiled on Kapoor that night. But there were other nights, and this was only the first attempt to snuff my friend, the sneaky little rodent.
It's a virus.
What?
It's transmitted subliminally.
How?
Well, the Ulubu are quite different from us, Ruby.
Yeah, we're not shaped like pears, and we don't have pointed heads.
I mean, they communicate differently.
I know, Andor. So what the hell is this?
It's a subliminal message.
What? A subliminal virus?
Yes. A long time ago, if you were a human being and watched television, you'd see commercials where people were sneezing because they had colds, and the next day, you'd come down with a cold.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Well, someone blew the whistle. It turned out that pharmaceutical companies were transmitting viruses subliminally through the television, and that's why you came down with a cold.
And the only way you could get rid of the cold was to buy their product.
Yes, and not just any cold remedy would cure your cold, because the virus was designed so only their product would cure it.
Yeah, Okay, but I don't think this virus is trying to give people colds, Andor.
A virus, Ruby.
Who on this planet could design this?
It is far beyond our abilities, Ruby.
Too sophisticated, right?
As you've seen, we Ilubu are such technically simple-minded people.
Yeah, there's nothing backward about this planet. You even own a hyper-thought link. Oop.
Oop, boop.
Yeah, boop.
Yes, and it was purchased off-planet.
Huh.
What are you inferring?
All I'm saying is, something is coded in this virus, and it's in your language, not ours. Give it to some of your simple-minded scientists. I bet they can figure it out.
We will see.
Yeah, and move on it, okay?
Ruby?
What?
I smell the hand of the Illusionati.
Ruby 6, The Illusionati. Ruby, Teru, and Kapoor are on the planet of Ilubu. Each has assumed a different identity. Ruby is masquerading as a performer at the digital circus. Kapoor is passing himself off as a clown, which comes quite natural to him. Professor T.J. Teru claims to be a full professor of puns, even though he hates puns. Only Ubub and Ilubu knows their true identity. And now part 4. Ruby, Queen of the Cosmos.
I went to see Su Fu.
Hello, Teru.
How you doing, babe?
I missed you.
I missed you too. Come on, give me a hug, kiddo. We huggled, we snuggled, we stood hand in hand watching the sun set across the great rolling sands of Ilubu. Snuggling with Su Fu was an amazing experience. Well, it wasn't just her lovely little knobs atop her pointed head, or her little boobies and sensual pear shape that somehow fit so neatly into my hands. No, it was also her nakri. You know what that is, don't you? That invisible bubble-like aura that surrounds every Ilubu. And when it engulfs you, if you are in love, it's paradisical. Ah, the sounds, the colors, the patterns, the sunset and moonbeams, the sparklers, and well, you know what it's like to be in love. But it's something beyond being in love. It's not wallowing in some zonked-out, bliss-like state, oblivious of the outside world. You can't keep doing that all your life because eventually you crash and burn. This is a heightened state of awareness where the world is not only magical and super real, but your senses are too. Your whole body is aware of everything going on around you. That's what it was like with Su Fu. But then one day, she said,
You're looking for the Illusionati.
Who, me?
Be honest, okay?
Okay. It's true. You know any Illusionatis?
Yes.
Who?
Me.
You? But...
It's all right, Teru.
But aren't you? I mean, isn't the Illusionati a secret society?
Yes.
Why is it secret?
Because we have to be.
Why are you telling me?
Because I wanted you to know everything about me.
Oh, okay. But what exactly is the Illusionati doing? Is it world control or cornering the stock market or...
No, none of that.
Well, what are they, like a bowling club or something?
I can't tell you.
Because it's a secret?
Yes.
Well, can you tell me who some of the others are?
No.
Oh, why is it a secret?
I told you.
Are you tickling me with your nakri? Is that what I'm feeling? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah. Oh.
Meanwhile, back at the digital circus...
Ruby? What's up, Angel?
Do you know the expression, it takes one to know one?
Yeah, why?
Well, the Ilubu, not all are the Ilubu.
What?
There are some that are something else.
Some of the Ilubus aren't Ilubus?
Yes.
Well, what are they, aliens in disguise or something?
No. You're on now, Ruby.
Oh, yeah, right. Let's talk about this later, okay?
I met Ruby and Oop Oop at the Bon Mot, an elegant little bistro on the Rue Ha Ha Choo. Thank you. The bistro, a simple design with little feet, was similar to most of the buildings here on Illubu, with an interior diorama of shifting scenes of their beloved desert, except this one shifted through the city. The bistro Bon Mot had thousands of centipedal feet that moved the oblong building along the street as we ate and looked out upon the passing cityscape. This quaint technology, lots of little feet, was based upon their own quaint bodies. You see, the Ilubu have 4 feet, but it's rare you'll ever see more than 2. The ordinary Ilubu walks with a waddle, swaying back and forth on their stubby legs. But when they run, spurred on by fear or whatever, the additional 2 feet they've tucked away somewhere drop down and their 4 feet become a scurrying blur, and they can run like bunnies. So I joined Ruby and Oop Oop in the strolling bistro Bon Mot.
Professor Theroux, I hear you have assumed the identity of a pun meister?
That was Ruby's idea.
Theroux loves puns.
No, I don't.
Theroux, I hear genius is an infinite capacity for talking puns.
Yeah, Ruby keeps telling everyone I'm a collector of puns. Now wherever I go, I'm pummeled with their puns.
Theroux's actually quite a connoisseur. His favorites are pear puns.
Pear puns?
Pear puns are the worst, the lowest, the meanest puns ever invented.
I find pear puns rather appealing.
Appealing, eh?
I'm certain they mean no harm.
A pear pun is a personal attack.
Can't you defend yourself?
Against a pear pun?
Yeah, you know how to parry.
Parry a pun. Oh, that's good.
A pear pun is like an allegory.
Don't you mean a parable?
A parable?
Oh, parable.
One of Theroux's favorites has fins.
A pear pun with fins?
What, a paraffin?
Paraffin!
Oh, no.
I'm laughing so hard, I cannot move.
Paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
No. You know, I ate something that looked like a pear.
Not another parable, Ruby.
No, inside I found 2 pits.
2 pits in a pear?
Yeah, a pair of pits.
Parapits!
Parapits! Disgorging my disgruntles!
Tell me, Professor, when you use a pear pun in a sentence...
Or a phrase.
Or a phrase, is that called...
A paraphrase?
All right, you two are working together, aren't you?
Professor, you are not laughing.
No, I'm not, Ruby. Your puns have infected my brain. They're driving me nuts. They're like a...
Like a parasite.
Yeah, they're like a
Parasite.
That's it. I'm barfing my marbles.
But Theroux, as a professor of puns, why discriminate against pear puns?
Well, for one...
It's a paradox.
A paradox?
That does it. I'm out of here.
Wait, no, come back, Theroux.
Why, to be pelleted with more rotten pear puns?
Oh, Theroux, you know it's all a game.
Is it?
Don't you like games, Professor?
He likes dice.
Ah, you play with dice?
I do?
Yeah, you said winning was heaven.
I said winning was heaven.
Ah, so heaven is...
A paradise.
Paradise, right? That's it. Adios. A pair of screwballs, that's what you guys are. I'm getting out of here. I found myself somewhere on the outskirts of the city. The roaming bistro had covered more hectare than I had imagined. I had not only no idea where I was, it was dark. Fortunately, the street lights that looked like giant heads floating above the street gave off a pleasant, warm, fuzzy glow, so I thought I may as well enjoy the stroll.
Theroux knew he was near the edge of the desert. He could smell it. A dry, slightly perfumed fragrance that drifted in from the rolling dunes.
I had the impression I was approaching the docks, but why would they have docks in a desert? And then I saw the ships, tall, strange, beautiful, billowy things moored down but hovering above the ground.
A puff of smoke lazily drifted by. There was someone sitting in the shadows quietly smoking a hookah. Theroux asked where he was, and the Alubu confirmed that indeed it was the docks. And indeed, the ship skimmed across the sand to various ports beyond.
He was of a different hue than most of the city pear peoples, though they do vary in shades. His skin was rich and dark, weathered by the desert winds.
He held out his hookah. Taru accepted it and took a couple of puffs on the pipe. He felt he could say anything to this man, and so he sat and they talked. Taru told him where he had come from, and then asked the man where his home was. He replied that he was from a kingdom far beyond these desert sands. Taru asked the name of this kingdom.
Far-flung Farouk.
Far-flung Farouk. Are you a trader?
I travel with the traders.
Taru was curious about this man, this Lubu from across the desert. He felt there were many tales he could tell Taru, but he was a man of few words. Taru felt the man's personal life was in some way sacred.
There are few aliens such as myself who have visited your planet, yet when they returned home, they described your people so differently. I know little about your belief in illusionism. Can you enlighten me?
You would not be conscious of space if there were no objects in space.
Yeah, that's true.
In the same way, if there were no illusion, there would be no enlightenment.
True again.
All problems are illusions.
Well, if they're all illusions, where do they come from?
From the mind.
Oh, yeah, the mind.
When you create a problem, you create pain.
Pain. Right.
Make a simple choice, my friend.
And that simple choice is?
Simply say, I will create no more pain for myself. I will create no more problems. Then you will create no more problems for others, and you will not hurt the world.
Meanwhile, back in the cafe...
Do you have a list, Ruby?
I scribbled down a few suspects.
May I see?
Yeah, sure, but I can't confirm any of them.
Sufu? Really?
Taru thinks so.
Ambassador Woogie?
Maybe.
And where is Boom Boom Bassoon?
Well, he seems okay.
He is in an ideal position to be in the Illusionati.
What are you going to do with this list?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing for now, Ruby.
And then?
I will expose the Illusionati.
You were at the Dune Docks?
Oh, yeah. I met a Sandman who came from the other side of the planet.
Oh, what's down there?
His home, far-flung Farouk.
Who?
It's a desert kingdom of unspeakable beauty.
Why can't you speak it?
No words will apply.
Not even words you can peel off?
No, none will stick.
Oh, I'd like to see a kingdom without words.
Me too, but I'm on my way to meet Sufu and her parents.
Her little pear-shaped parents?
Apparently.
Oh, it sounds like it's getting serious.
Sufu is a real peach.
Is she fuzzy?
Well, she's a little fuzzy here and there.
Have you touched her knobs?
The knobs? You mean the knobs on her forehead hidden beneath her lush mane of peachy hair?
Yes, those knobs.
How did you know about her knobs?
You told me.
Oh, well, yes, she loves to have her little knobs massaged.
And her feet?
Massage your tiny pear-shaped toesies?
Yes, but I've never seen all four of her footies.
Well, just stay away from the other two, all right?
No. I mean, I was told that all Irubu have 4 feet. But where are they?
2 of them are tucked away.
Where?
Well, their bodies are wider on the bottom, so there's room to have 2 legs tucked up between the other 2.
Draw me a picture.
Okay. Here's the 2 legs that are like ours, only shorter.
Okay. Where's the other 2?
Well, here's the front one tucked away at the center, and here's the other one tucked away right behind it.
Get out of here.
Honest.
2 to each side, and 1 in front and 1 behind.
That's right.
Well, when did they use all 4 feet?
When they're in a hurry, they scurry.
Oh, but what if they're trying to, how do you,
Play coochie coochie coo?
Yeah.
Well, when we're playing coochie coochie coo, she can do the most amazing things with all those extra toes.
No.
Yeah, you know the way a cat will knead you with its paws? Like this?
Oh. After talking to Taru, I felt so lonely. I didn't have no one. No cute little Lubu pear-bottomed. I was very unhappy. I needed to talk to someone. I asked Oop Boop if I could use his hyper-thought link to make an off-planet call, and he said no problem. Hello, this is Mother Kapoor.
Hello, Mother.
Rodant, how are things on Ilubu Roy?
Ra.
Ra? You say it's Ra?
Ra.
Oh, those primitive backward planets, when are they ever going to get with it?
Ra.
You said that. So how are you, Rodant?
I'm okay.
Well, you certainly don't sound it. Are the hairy corners of your mouth turned down, Rodant?
My mouth doesn't have corners, Mother.
Well, you wouldn't call unless you had a problem or you felt guilty.
And I've been too busy lately to make you feel guilty, so you must have a problem.
I'm a clown, Mother.
You've always been a clown, Rodant. Did it take you this long to discover that?
This is not my problem, Mother. The problem is this mean clown that doesn't like me.
Life is filled with mean clowns that don't like us, Rodant.
I know, but Cream Puff is one really mean, low-down, dirty clown. Cream Puff?
I think he's trying to kill me, Mother.
You shouldn't take it personally.
I think he's the one who put a bomb in the custard pie.
Don't tell me you got into a pie fight.
Yes, all the clowns were throwing pies at each other.
A pie exploded?
It was meant to remove my head.
And I know you'll try again, Mother.
Then stay away from frothy things like shaving cream, cappuccinos, mad dogs.
Meringue!
It was custard, not meringue.
It may be meringue next time.
Oh, forgive me.
Quit mumbling and take the offensive, Rodant.
But he already thinks I'm offensive.
Use your God-given talent, Rodant.
Can you remind me what that is, Mother?
Born sneaky.
Oh.
That was the one thing I could never beat out of you, Rodant.
Lord knows I tried.
I know.
There must be a reason you were born this way, so you might as well make a profession out of it.
Pro-sneaky?
Why? Is there something else you could do?
I can clown.
Then go out there and clown, damn it.
Yes, Mother.
And don't forget to duck. Goodbye.
Born sneaky.
Rodant was inspired by his mother's advice, but just as he began to plot how he would spy on Cream Puff, near disaster struck again. Kapoor's clown attire was sabotaged. He always examined each item before every performance. Floppy shoes, checked for traps in the toes. Wig, checked for concealed creatures. Baggy pants, checked for snakes, so on. The one item Kapoor failed to examine was his honking nose. On the end of his normal rat-like nose, he would fit a big red bulb that he could squeeze. This came in handy when the clowns were on their unicycles, sitting high up in the air, except for Kapoor, who was pedaling a unicycle that was about an inch off the ground. When he wanted to pass another clown, he'd honk his nose. That night, they raced around the ring, bumping, jostling, elbowing each other, until a clown waved a flag for the final lap. This was Kapoor's cue to scoot ahead, weaving in and out of the other clowns, causing such chaos the clowns collided into each other, tumbling off their unicycles and falling in a tangled heap of big shoes, spinning wheels, and clown pom-poms. And as Kapoor crossed the finish line, he waved to the crowd and reached up to give his bulbous nose a final victory honk. But at that very moment, a cloaked rider galloped by on a pony, grabbed Kapoor's nose, and threw it high into the air, where it exploded.
The crowd went wild, Kapoor went white, and Angel went galloping away.
Later, still shaken by the close shave, Kapoor wobbled into Angel's dressing room.
You saved my life.
I know, Rodent.
But how did you know that my nose was going to explode?
I guess it was just android intuition.
Androids have intuition?
Yes, we even have hunches.
Is that like fuzzy logic?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Miss Angel.
You're welcome, Rodent. Mm.
Oh. Oh.
It was much later, long after the show, when two whispering voices hissed out of the darkness.
Why did you do that?
Do what?
Save the little rodent.
He's been sweet to me.
Twice you've thwarted me.
Don't hurt him.
I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm trying to kill him.
Oh, not if I can help it, Cream Puff.
Just stay out of my way, Angel Face.
I'll try to save him.
You save him once more, and you're angel dust, baby.
A speak bubble came through the tubes. It was from her angelness.
There are some that are something else.
That intrigued me. There was something she wanted to show me. She said to take one of the Zeppers. It's a taxi, a small electric dirigible. There are 2 propellers on the Zepper operated by a double set of pedals. The driver was pedaling with all 4 of his feet. Well, it was faster than walking. I liked looking down at the city from above. There are very few straight lines down there. The streets wove around hills and buildings and boulders. I mean, don't they know what a bulldozer is around here? There was a sunset with lots of blues, purples, greens, fading into black. It was getting dark. We were headed out of town. The driver explained the address was in a sort of warehouse district on the outskirts. Here, too, the lumpy buildings were environmentally friendly, blending in with the occasional boulder and the desert that stretched beyond. A door on the side of the building opened. Standing in the doorway was her angelness. She stepped back. I stepped in. The inside was lit by a row of bulbs that extended to the far end of the warehouse. This what you wanted to show me? An empty warehouse?
No, Ruby.
Well, why are we here?
It's not empty.
Okay, other than you, me, and the molecules, it looks empty and it sure sounds like it.
Your voice is being synthesized through a spatial reverberation unit. What you are seeing is the same technology they used to synthesize the Nacree.
They can synthesize their energy field?
Yes.
Where?
You are looking at it.
I don't see it.
Watch me, Ruby.
I watched her angelness as she walked toward the far wall of the warehouse. She didn't get very far. She was gone. Angel! Hey, what did you... My echo just disappeared. What did you do? I took a step forward and stepped right into another world. It was a world filled with rows of Ilubus, different sizes, different ages, different sexes. Some had pinkish skin, some bluish. They were lined up like a bunch of pods with tubes stuck in them. And what was really freaky? None of them had faces.
Do you know who they are, Ruby?
I got an idea. How did you figure this out?
It takes one to know one.
You're not an Ilubu.
I am an android.
And you can spot an Ilubu android?
Yes.
Can they?
I do not think so.
Do the Ilubus know they have androids among them?
No, Ruby.
But they're Nacree. That's part of their life force. That's their energy field, their aura, for God's sake. How can that be synthesized?
It can be copied and controlled.
What do you mean controlled?
Manipulated.
From a distance with a remote?
I do not know, Ruby.
How did you find this place?
I followed one of the Chosen.
Why are they called the Chosen?
That is how they refer to each other, Ruby.
So you've been doing a little gumshoeing on your own.
You are my mentor, Ruby.
Oh, yeah? Well, I guess I'm doing okay then.
Yes, Ruby.
So this is where they stamp out Ilubu androids.
They are grown here.
But they're not clones.
No, not clones. Doppelgangers.
What's a doppelganger?
A ghostly double of a living person.
What?
Look at this, Ruby.
God. Is that Boom Boom Bassoon?
Yes, Ruby.
Not bad. Could have fooled me.
But not me.
So they sculpt the faces and put in the detail work later?
Yes, Ruby.
Do you know who's behind this?
No.
Let me get this straight. You followed an Ilubu android and they led you here?
Yes.
Where did you see him?
It was not a him.
A her?
Yes, at the circus.
She was sitting in the audience?
Yes, Ruby.
How did you know?
I don't know.
Listen, can you contact Boom Boom Bassoon?
I will send a speak bubble.
Yeah, whatever. Just get him out here.
You trust Boom Boom Bassoon?
Yeah, I do.
See how she leans her hand upon her cheek?
Back at the digital circus, Taru also inflates a speak bubble, but one for his lady love, the tall and shapely Sufu. Well, that is tall and shapely for the normally short, pear-shaped Ilubu.
Oh, that I wore a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Let's get back to Ruby.
While Angel was locating Boom, I was snooping around. What had me puzzled was the technology. It wasn't like anything I'd seen on Ilubu. It could have been from my planet, Sumanula.
Boom Bassoon is on his way.
They haven't been using the place for long, have they?
I agree.
Do they have an android works on this planet?
They do now.
Did you hear something?
Yes, Ruby.
Lights were clicking off all over the place. I flipped on my night glasses. I eased out my trusty Smith Hitachi Godzilla blunderbuss blaster. I figured if those androids started shuffling my way, they'd be scraping zombie flesh off the walls.
Ruby, over there.
Yeah, I see it. It was a big, round, rubbery ball like a translucent bubble, and it was merrily bouncing this way. It looked like it wanted to play, but I didn't. Pieces went flying all over the place. Angel caught a sticky fragment. It wrapped around her hand. It was pulsating. What is that stuff?
It is bioflesh.
That was made of synthetic flesh?
It is alive.
Wait, there's one behind you. Yuck, those things are like synthetic spulagas.
Spulagas?
Yeah, those giant suck balls on Jazuli 3, but those things are worse. They really stink.
Ruby, the pieces are trying to crawl back together again.
God, technology can be so disgusting. Let's get out of here. Oh, no, wait, those biodroids? I almost forgot to say goodnight.
But they are alive, Ruby.
Yeah, right.
You are killing life forms, Ruby.
Yeah.
They are as alive as you and me, Ruby.
Yeah, Wait a minute, you're not alive.
I think I am.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah, well...
Ruby!
Yeah, I know.
Ruby, there's...
Yeah.
Ruby! Spulaga!
I whirled around. The flesh ball was in the air. I fired point blank. The thing exploded. Fragments of bioflesh were flying all over the place, sticking to me. I was trying to pull them off, but pieces were hitting the floor and bouncing right back on me. I couldn't get them off. The ball was reforming with me inside it. And then, everything became very still. I was inside something that was breathing. It was strangely peaceful, like being suspended inside a lullaby. I had to admit, it wasn't a bad way to go.
Ruby 6. The Illusionati. Ruby has vanished. Perhaps forever. The only person who witnessed her disappearance isn't saying anything. And now, Part 5. The Bioballs Came Bouncing.
Angel baby, have you seen Ruby?
No, TJ.
No one has seen her all day.
But she has a performance tonight.
Oh yeah, Ruby and the Dark Angel of Doom.
What if Ruby doesn't show?
No show? Then no show.
I can do it.
do Ruby's routine?
Yes.
You would confront the Dark Angel of Doom?
Yes.
I don't think so, Angel.
Why?
Because then we'd have to call it Angel and the Dark Angel of Doom.
Ooh, I like that.
Sorry, Angel.
But as night falls and the crowd gathers inside the giant inflatable Big Top and Ruby hasn't appeared, Andor becomes concerned.
Gosh, I'm afraid we'll have to cancel our main event.
I can do it, Andor.
Replace Ruby?
I know all her routines.
Well, but, I mean, we're talking about Ruby. You know, I mean, it's Ruby.
But Ruby wouldn't want the main event canceled. It's the highlight of the digital circus, Andor.
Gosh, it's too dangerous, Angel.
I love danger.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
But if anything ever happened to you...
There's a fail-safe.
Yes, but
I'll dress like Ruby. No one will know. I'll be way up there in the top of the dome.
You sure? I mean,
It will make Ruby happy.
Well, I don't know about that.
It will make me so happy. You want to make me happy, don't you, Andor?
Yes, but if Ruby is unhappy, she can... I mean... be so mean.
But if she's not here, people will be so disappointed.
I know, Angel.
If you make me happy, I'll make you happy, Andor.
Well, gosh, do you really think
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh...
You told Angel she can replace Ruby? Are you nuts?
Just for tonight.
So you're nuts just for tonight?
No, just in case Ruby doesn't show.
No one replaces Ruby.
But Angel will dress like Ruby, and who'll be the wiser?
We are going to lie to all those trusting Ilubus that have paid their hard-earned schmoogos?
Well?
Who has the final say here?
I do.
Oh, well, okay. But don't say it's Ruby, because if Ruby finds out...
Oh.
Tonight, do we have a special treat for you? Yes, we do! Tonight, here at the Digital Circus, we present the Battle of Angels, the dark versus the light. On one side of the cosmic ring, we have the Angel of Light, her luminous radiance, shining, resplendent, the dazzling, incandescent, blazing, flaming Angel of Angels, Angel Baby! Wait, there's more. The Angel of Light will combat the dark, ominous, gloomy, shadowy, lightless Angel of Eternal Blackness. Yes, tonight, for the first time ever, here at the Digital Circus, we proudly present the Angel of Light versus the Dark Angel of Doom.
I had to admit, Angel was good. She had all of Ruby's moves down pat, and that's the frustrating thing about having a relationship with an android. They're total recall. They can quote you exactly what you said, when you said it, why you said it, and why, and there's no squirming out of that. Since her angelness and I had called it quits, I noticed she and Andor were becoming quite lovey-dovey, coochie-cooey, ooey-ooey. Yeah, but what about Ruby? She's vanished, so I checked her inflatable abode, but no clue. No, wait a minute. What's this? The spent speak bubble.
As you may know, speak bubbles are a sort of inflatable rubber email. They are the chief means of communication here on the planet of Ilubu-Wa. They are bubbles that they fill with words and then send them through a pneumatic tube.
So as I held this spent speak bubble up by its little limp tail, that's when I noticed there was a tiny lump still inside. One final word was still in there. It hadn't been squeezed out. I pressed the bubble between my fingers and...
Ruby?
It was Angel's voice. Apparently it was a message she'd sent to Ruby. Taru was about to toss it into the spent speak bubble receptacle when he noticed the time and date that is stamped onto every speak bubble. And it was dated the evening Ruby had disappeared.
I sent a speak bubble to Ruby?
Here it is.
It's limp.
Well, when I found it, all the words had been squeezed out, all but one. Your voice saying, Ruby.
Gosh, TJ, I don't recall sending that.
It was you, Angel.
Yes, now I remember. Ruby had asked me to send the guest list from the reception.
That's a lot of words to squeeze into one small speak bubble.
Oh, I can talk fast. Do you want to hear me?
No, I'm just following every clue. Thanks, Angel.
Bye, TJ. Mwah.
Yeah, every clue. That was the only clue I had. But how could Angel forget? Androids never forget.
Taru confides in Rodan Kapoor.
Have you noticed Angel's been acting differently?
Maybe she's in love.
I don't think so. Keep an eye on her, Kapoor.
Oh, I like to have my eyes on Angel.
So, I had no leads, and here we were, hired to find the Illusionati, but I can't even find Ruby.
Taru pays a visit to Ambassador Woogie.
Professor Taru, have you heard the pun about...
Oh, wait, no puns today.
Is this a bad pun day?
Every day is bad when there's a pun in it.
Did you know, Professor, our Ilubu days are not named after our planets. Ours are named after sound days. Let me give you an example.
Spare me, Ambassador. I'm here because Ruby is missing.
You have received no word?
Not one.
How may I help you, Professor?
I was hoping that you might have some contacts, people who could ask around, see if they can find anyone who may have seen Ruby since that night she disappeared.
Oh, I will do what I can, Professor.
And meanwhile, somewhere...
In case you're wondering, whatever happened to Ruby, let me refresh your memory. Her angelness told me to meet her at a warehouse on the edge of town. Inside were all these zombies, pear-shaped lumps grown from icky, rubbery stuff called bioflesh. They were faceless, except for one. It had all the detail, right down to the pencil-thin mustache. It was the media mogul Boom Boom Bassoon. It was his replica, a doppelganger. For some reason, I trusted Boom Bassoon, so I had her angelness contact him to come out to the warehouse and see for himself. But something got triggered. We were attacked by big balls of bioflesh that came merrily bouncing across the warehouse floor. I blasted a couple of them, but a third one exploded so close the flesh stuck all over me. They were alive. Then pieces came crawling from everywhere. The ball was reforming with me inside it. I couldn't breathe, and then everything faded to black. When I finally woke up, I was here. My first question was, where is here? Well, here is somewhere on this planet in this godforsaken desert, and here had once been a village, an oasis-burg, but now there's just me. Well, me and these damn bio balls. I mean, speak of the prisoner, I'm living it. There's about 30 spike palms, 5 vacant buildings, a pile of rusted old machinery. There's nothing to read, no entertainment. I can't even converse with these stupid balls. There's supplies, dry food you pour water on and pray it'll turn into something that'll stay in your stomach. Why am I still alive? Do they think I know something? And who are they? What happened to her angelness? When I blasted that bio ball, it reformed around me, not her, but maybe they can't stick to plastic, so what happened to her?
TJ?
Yeah, Angel?
Have you heard from Ruby?
Not a peep.
Gee, I hope she's all right.
Well, Ruby's independent. She does whatever she wants. She's a self-made woman.
She wasn't molded out of plastic like me.
Being molded out of plastic isn't anything to be ashamed of, Angel.
No?
No, a lot of women are molded nowadays. And you're so pretty and so plastic. God, I love plastic.
Yeah, cool it, TJ.
Oh, right.
And what about Sufu?
Sufu?
Aren't you and Sufu playing Tootsies?
Tootsies? Yes, well, she certainly has a lot of Tootsies to play with.
Is Sufu one of the Illusionati?
Just between you and me, maybe.
No.
Yeah?
I would love to meet one of the Illusionati.
Well, we've probably been meeting them ever since we arrived on this planet. We just don't know who they are.
What if she is one of them?
Sufu is not the enemy.
Okay, TJ.
I hear you've taken up with Andor.
Andor is so sweet.
Don't break his tender, techie heart, Angel.
I would never do that.
Oh, yeah.
Did I break your heart?
No, you just left a few pock marks with your spiky high heel.
I had to stand up for myself.
Yeah, but did you have to make a waffle of my heart?
I never meant to step on you, TJ.
I always recover, Angel. But be nice to Andor.
He's so sweet.
I know. Well, I got a date with Sufu. See you later, babe.
Bye, TJ. Sufu, Mr. Puff.
So, that's how I spend my time, turning over fragments in my mind. I'm allowed to roam about this empty village. From what I see, there's nothing but bare desert out there, and with balls following me around, I can't get very far anyway. I wonder if they ever sleep. I've seen them eat some kind of greenish gook they roll around in and absorb through their skin. God, I'd love to blast them. But no blaster. No, nothing. I've been stripped of all weapons. Well, almost. I was up on the second floor balcony when a ball came rolling directly beneath me. I dropped a brick on it, just testing. Ha! The brick bounced off. The ball stopped and kind of hissed. And then it rolled on. I did notice the brick left a bruise, a nice brick outline, so maybe they do have feelings. Something I can hurt.
The third attempt on Kapoor's life was when Slippery the Midget got sick. Slippery's routine was to slip on a bullet-shaped helmet and slide down a cannon. They'd open up the roof of the big top and shoot Slippery out into space. The class act was for Slippery to reach the zenith and then return back down, hitting the same open hole and landing on a cushion. Then he'd leap to his feet and bow to the thundering applause. Well, that night, when Slippery couldn't perform, Kapoor was asked to fill in.
Fitting in wasn't easy. I had to squeeze myself down inside that cannon barrel.
We took all precautions possible.
Your attention, please. Slippery, the human BB, will not be shot out of a cannon tonight. Wait. But we have a special treat. Someone who has never been shot out of anything in his life. Someone who we all know and love. That madcap mirthmaster, known for his fabulous foolishness and riotous, rip-tickling, side-splitting tomfoolery. That gifted gangster who engages in heartfelt hilarity with a maximum of merry mischief and mighty mirth. That incredible Rodent Kapoor!
Rodent!
Now quiet! This is an extremely dangerous stunt he will attempt. No one other than Slippery the human BB has ever been shot out of a cannon, upward to the stars, and returned alive.
Huh?
And now, as you can see, the brave rodent has wedged his little rat-like body, tail and all, into the menacing mouth of the mighty cannon. Oh, what nerve-shattering nonchalance. He will be fired up and out of the big top, over the moon, and then hopefully come back again.
Over the moon?
Quiet now, please! This death-defying rodential cannonball must focus his tiny rat-like mind to prepare for his astral achievement, sailing through space in a volley virtuosity, challenging the grip of gravity in an anticipated spectacular somersaulting salvos of stratospheric splendor.
Does he mean me?
Shush! Quiet, please. Quiet! And now, the cannon master strikes his match. He lights the fuse It's burning. Burning down.
Meanwhile, down inside the cannon barrel, Kapoor had finally squeezed himself to the base of the barrel where he discovered something sharp, pointed, and cold.
What is this thing I'm sitting on? It feels like a cannon shell.
Down and down burns the fuse. Any moment now, we'll hear a gigantic explosion. Wait! The cannon barrel has suddenly descended. It's now pointing at the impenetrable steel wall of death. Something is wrong. Quick, someone, put out that fuse. What? It's too late? Oh no, I can't look. What a splatter you make against that shiny wall.
It was going to be Spatula Bill for Kapoor. He'd hit that wall like a speeding bullet. But just as the cannon fired, it raised ever so slightly. And Kapoor, barely clearing the steel wall, was shot through the side of the big top and went sailing way the heck out into the desert, where he landed headfirst in a sand dune.
Thanks for watching.